it to maybe solve a problem or create content. And you think, wow, sometimes you write a blog from there, or you begin to tell a story, and you just think, okay, it's a message for somebody else. Sometimes those things are premonitions, that come to you to prepare you for the future. Because along the way, you'll find out that, oh, that was why those thoughts or these words were recurring in my mind. Okay, I'll explain what I'm trying to say with a brief story, right? First of all, welcome to Let's Chit Chat or Chit Chat with Dorcas Glader, the African in Ecuador, right? I do live videos every Saturday or sometimes during the week. And before we start, let me just apologize just in case you are a casual viewer or returning viewer, or it's your first time and you go through my videos, you see a video in French or Italian, I made a mistake, right? I'm sorry. I made a mistake and I went live here. I have another channel where I do language practices, so just forget about that. Okay, now let's get that out of the way. So early this week, I think Monday or Tuesday, I went to the market. And when I was coming back, I was thinking on how to make my channel grow, what I could do. Should I do more shorts? Should I do more videos? What kind of videos would I do? Or do I do more live sessions? Because when you go live, I like it because one speaks straight from the heart. And best of all, you don't have to edit. At least I don't edit. I know you can do some editing in your studio, but I don't normally edit when I go live. I just speak from the heart and I let the speaker feel like we are speaking face to face, okay? So when I was coming back, I was thinking about that. I was thinking what to do, what not to do, why is the channel taking time to grow? You get those moments where you feel like discouraged, or you're just doing a thorough reflection to know, find out where can I improve. And then this thought comes into my mind to say, you know, in whatever one does, you have to have a dogged determination. And I'm like, dogged determination. I said, yeah. So, oh, wow, like that proverbs, that saying or the idiom that says a dog with a bone. Say, yeah. When you think of that adage, says sometimes there are people who we refer to as they have a dog with a bone attitude, people who don't let issues go. That's the negative side. And most times they say that about women, like we nag and nag and nag. But that's because most times women are more emotional, like we feel things, I think, more deep than our male counterparts. And so until a woman feels heard, she tends to keep repeating the issue over and over and over. And you hear people say, no, the women nag a lot, and they are like a dog with a bone. If you look at a dog with a bone, that dog has the belief that there is something in that bone for his sustenance, for its enjoyment, for its leisure time. Because a dog can have a bone, play with that bone for weeks if you let it. And I'm not talking about this modern day cowhides. I'm talking of like proper bones. Those ones our mothers used to cook and with a lot of seasoning, that is so rich in flavor, and the dog can perceive that flavor. But all the dog wants is to chew that bone till probably it gets to the marrow of the bone. And with time, I've always noticed that the dogs are not discouraged by the fact that they cannot crack the bone. Most times the dogs can't crack that bone, but they will go find a place, sit down, chew, 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 no, no, no on the bone, go play, do their business, come back on that bone again. And that is the attitude that you need to have when you're pursuing whatever goal it is that you have in life. Okay? So, another negative way that have been having a dog with a bone attitude is when you see people who are transactional. So they call such people, most times we call them gold diggers, right? In Nigeria, they say, before you call me a gold digger, make sure that you have gold that I come to dig. Personally, I don't find it quite insulting when you say somebody has is a gold digger, because I think the literal term, literally when we take it, is that someone who goes to dig gold has an axe. To dig is a work, right? But then I think we just look at it from the negative side to say this person is being opportunistic, they're transactional. And like the dog, they will suck you dry, like we say in Nigeria, until they have nothing again that they need from you, then they let you go, right? So like gold diggers, we can learn from them that determination to say this person is going to be my meal ticket, or like we say back home, this person is going to be my ATM, and we profit from them. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that tenacity, that determination. When you have a goal, when you have a dream, when you have a passion for something, you need to have that attitude, that doggedness, to say it don't take how long I get better. It doesn't matter how long I get to learn how to be this, but I'm gonna be that businesswoman. I'm gonna be the best content creator that I will be. I'm going to be the best teacher that I can be. I'm gonna be the best chef that I can be. I will be trying recipes every week if I need to. But you see this business, I'm doing it. All right. So I was developing that idea coming back from the market, and it was just burning in my mind, burning in my mind. And so I dropped my groceries, packed them away, and I go to my room where I use as my office, and I record. And then there's nobody following me, and I think, what happened? What's happening? What happened? Few hours later, no views, nothing. And so YouTube was not recommending the video because there was no volume, right? There was no volume. So in the evening, I finally opened the video, the live video I had done in the morning, and I listened, and lo and behold, there was no volume. That was why people couldn't follow me. But this is what happened. That recording or that live was a fail, apparently. But here is what happened. I discovered that my laptop was not up to date. So I use an HP laptop. So I learned a few things, that I could call Microsoft for free. The help service center was for free. And the fellow whom I called graciously helped me to fix that volume problem. One. Two, I learned how to fix the lighting, the brightness on my laptop should I want to go live from my laptop. Two. Three, this is what I learned, that when you are determined to do something, life is going to throw challenges at you. There will be obstacles that will come your way to prove if really you believe in your goal, to prove really if you believe in your dreams. If you remember, if you're a Christian, or you're familiar with the Christian religion, you may have heard the story of Joseph, right? Joseph had a dream when he was in his father's house, and the dream was that he was going to be the head of the family. He was going to be higher, above even his parents. But the process from his father's house to the the palace, to being Pharaoh's right hand man, he never saw that in the dream, right? He didn't see that. Hello, David for Dave for LD1. Federico, hello. Mercedes, hello. He never saw that. And so he didn't see that he would even go to prison, or all those traps along the way, those trials along the way. And so, hello, Celeste, how are you? And so that is how it is with you. You can have a dream, you can have an ambition, but if you do not have the faith to believe in your ambition, then any obstacle can easily throw you off track. That was what happened to me, because I came so inspired, so charged, and I could have just said, you know what, I'm not going to do anything more, and would have just given up. last year there was this person I was following also here on YouTube. They started with just eight views. Today they are having like how many views? I don't even know, like hundreds. The channel is growing, and we do not know the struggle from the beginning to where they are right now, right? So the dogged determination to pursue your dream for me comes from believing that you are sure that you believe in your from believing in your dream, right? That is the first thing. Once you know, like the dog, that this bone is something for me, you hold on to that dream. It doesn't matter who says what. It doesn't matter if your friends see the vision. It doesn't matter if your parents see the vision. It doesn't matter even if the vision seems beyond your reach. For example, you want to own a restaurant, you want to own a channel and you want to see that channel grow. But once you have that mindset, that belief that I can do it, that this is for me, this is my calling, this is my gift, then the learning process on the way to success becomes easy to go on. Then you're no longer afraid to pursue that dream because you are convicted. So, it first of all comes with the conviction. Secondly, like the dog with the bone. Have you noticed when the dog is chewing a bone, they always hold it at different angles? They will put it on this incisor, they will put it on this side. That is the learning process. I always look at the teeth of my dog when I used to have one in my early 20s in my late teen years, yeah. And I noticed that the more this dog gnawed on bones, they would have sharper incisors, they will have sharper teeth. Because one part of the teeth, while the bone would be, that friction would cause some wearing off of some teeth, but some teeth would be sharpened, especially the one that they use for biting. Those ones will be sharpened, okay? And that is what the learning process is. While you are pursuing your dream, your learning experiences, your failures, what you think are failures, are actually learning processes, are actually learning curves. For example, when I started with content creation, I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know that there was so much I could do just with my phone. It was just a normal phone. And so I uploaded this way and it didn't work out nice. And then I went back to the drawing board, learned how to this thing, learned how to edit. When I used to upload, I didn't know what was the time frame that my viewers used to be online for me to upload to get them. And little by little, I started taking tutorial lessons. What is the best time to upload? What are my audience's age bracket? What are the things that interests them? Who are the people who follow me? And then you go to your YouTube studio and you watch your analytics and you find out, oh, okay, these videos are doing better, which means I'm good at creating XXX content. That is why more people watch those videos. And then you hone your craft, right? But it comes with that determination. A dog with a bone does not say, no, I'm going to crack up this bone in 2 days, or I'm going to crack this bone in 2 hours, and if it doesn't work out, I'm going to go and look for another bone. Mm-mm. He's just going to sit down there, and if it's tired, the jaws are tired, he's going to rest, he's going to go back to the bone again, right? And that is what I learned this week, that once there is a belief in yourself, um, you have to give yourself time. It's faith, then comes patience. The first thing is faith. You need to believe that this is for you. You need to believe that you can do it. And then you have to be patient with yourself. That is number three. You have to be patient with yourself, to give yourself time to learn, to be better, And then number three is ask for help. Of course, you're not a dog, you're not going to do it, because if it was a human being, if it were a human being with a bone, we will just ask the butcher, can you just use your butcher's knife or an axe and break off the bone, right? That is what a human being with more intelligence will do. And so, if you're learning a business, if you're trying to grow a business, if you're trying to do something, you go to the people that know, you ask for information, you come here on YouTube, you look up information from people who have done the same thing or similar things like you and have succeeded, right? And that is how you grow. So you have to believe, be patient, look for help, look for information, and then begin to work out. Most times we want to have all our ducks in a row before we set sailing. No, if you have that one duck, if you only know how to talk, talk. You will get better at editing. If you only know how to create the product, say maybe clothing, yeah, go so. Just so. Little by little, you're going to learn how to do marketing. If you are a teacher or whatever, just do that one thing that you can do. Because if you do not start, you will not improve. All right? You have to start. You have to start from somewhere. And that first step is believing, because the vision, the gift, the dream is given to you. If you believe in God, then God gives it to you. If you are a modern day person, like the new age people say, the universe puts that thought in your head. But I believe in God. All good and perfect gifts, the Bible said, come from God. And then He gives us that. That is why you have your brain, that's why you have your imagination. So it's given to you. Yours is to believe in the vision or the dream, to have patience with yourself, give it time, and then three, start looking for ways to develop that dream to make it a reality. All right? That's what I wanted to share with you today. Be like a dog with a bone, but in a positive way. All right? With your dreams, with your ambition, with your belief, be tenacious, be audacious. Okay? Have that determination, and you will succeed. That's what I wanted to tell you, because I did that video last on Tuesday, a couple of days ago, and I didn't even have all of this that I'm sharing with you today. And so it wasn't time, and I think this is the time. If you have enjoyed anything, if I've spoken to you, if you resonated with anything, please do not forget to leave me a like so that YouTube can refer the videos to other people. It will really help me in my content creation work. um, Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Have you had such moments, those aha moments when the bulb switched up in your head and a thought came and you worked on it? I would love to hear from you. And if you enjoy motivational or inspirational talks or chats like this, do consider subscribing. And I'll see you next Saturday. Bye bye. Thank you to everyone who was here today, and I'll see you next week. Okay, thank you.